I'm Don.
And hi, I'm Cindy, and welcome to Pearls of Liberty. Today is the day before Easter 2012, so we'll keep it brief because we know that you probably have eggs to color and hunt for and so on and so forth. But last week we brought up the subject of Drake, and we wanted to fill in a few blanks there because we did learn a little more this week, and some things are making a little more sense. And Drake is kind of Drake. Somebody left a comment on our YouTube video from last week, letting me know that Drake is a word for serpent or snake. So interestingly enough, would you like to talk about Drake a little?
Sure, yeah, we don't actually trust him completely, and we trust him less than we did last week. And here's the first thing that I want to say, and that we said last week that I want to retract because we were in error in saying this, that these arrests were going to be in the next few weeks or in the month of April, and that's never been promised. The only thing that was promised by Fulford, Benjamin Fulford, was that if the cabal didn't confess to their crimes by the end of March, then they would be arrested. The presumption was it would be soon. Well, that's never been stated, so we want to make that clear. We're still hopeful, but there's been two videos with Drake now. The interview by Teri, last name, Teri Hinkle, and we know of Teri by reputation. Do not think she doesn't have that great of a reputation with us, let me put it that way. And we basically gave Drake a pass by having connected with her as being of the part of the more militaristic faction of the movement to restore America, or the Republic plan. And that did have a split, and it kind of makes sense that some of the military people might side more with RAP than with the Republic. But the Drake did make a statement himself this time directly against Tim Turner, and what we want to reiterate this time is that Tim Turner is not the Republic. The Republic is much bigger than Tim Turner, and there have been and Teri Hinkle has been known to be stirring up things in the Republic, and she took a whole state out with her, having left the Republic, but the issues that she raised have largely been addressed. And there's a claim in this recent video that Tim Turner is a liar. We know people that know Tim Turner well. Our impression of Tim Turner from the videos is definitely not that. We believe he is an honorable man, and we do not believe that the Republic is deception. So it's quite disconcerting to have this split developing. It's almost like a psyop. I'm gonna stop short of saying that it's a psyop because I don't know for sure that it is, but it's so unfortunate that right when things are beginning to break loose that you have what appears to be a split developing. And we did have that more information come out about in that second video that made what sounded too good to be true about the method that Drake is talking about restoring America. Yeah, definitely being too good to be true. We highly respect Ken Cousins' analysis. Ken is the interim governor for the Free State of California in the Republic, and Ken's assessment of the situation is that Teri and Drake are basically offering people a magic pill that they don't have to do anything, and this Republic is going to be restored. It does take work. It does take taking a stand. It does take actually that whole red thumbprint thing and everything. If you think about it, when you commit yourself to a cause, people within that cause need to be able to have some foundation of their their shared ground, what they're standing on. And that is part and parcel of the Republic. It's easy for somebody like Teri Hinkle to say, don't ever sign a paper to be what you already are. You're an American. This is your birthright. It's not that simple. It really isn't. There is an effective legal process. Our lawful government has been stolen from us, and there is a lawful process to take it back. You can't just claim that you have some land and file some papers with The Hague and expect that that's going to magically cure everything. It just is not that simple. There is a process. It is more complicated than that, and people get scared of the complexity, and they think, this sounds like the de facto. This sounds like what we left. I'm sorry, but that's a superficial analysis, and it doesn't hold up. You have to hang in there and bear with. There was a complex process of enslavement, and the process of becoming free is not simple. Yeah, I mean, it is simple in concept, but the working out of the details needs to address the details by which we have become enslaved. It's much, much more abstract than in legal concept than the first American Revolution or the War for American Independence. So we want to make that clear, and I'm not sure if I'm leaving anything out. Cindy, do you have anything to add?
Yeah. Could you speak a little bit? There's an issue of what is actually lawful, and kind of the Articles of Confederacy as opposed to the Constitution. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Exactly. What is happening, and Tim Turner made this so clear. We were fortunate enough to hear him on a conference call this past week, and he made the point so clearly. It's this, that the claim to be using the Declaration of Independence to gain the status of nation states doesn't stand up. And that's what the alternative to the Republic for regaining independence from the cabal is. It's nation states, each state declaring themselves an independent entity and being recognized internationally as such. That's what they're trying to do. And what Tim is saying is that and what that actually is that's going back to the Articles of Confederation. When the Constitution was ratified, the Articles of Confederation went away. The principle is simple. It's whenever you have a body of law that's superseded by another body of law, the previous body of law goes away. The Confederacy, the Articles of Confederation, not the Confederacy from the Civil War, but the Articles of Confederation went away when the Constitution was ratified. That made America, the United States, one nation. Of course, what has happened since then is that Constitution has been usurped by a corporation operating as the de facto government. And throwing that off does not mean going back to the Articles of Confederation. It means going back to the Constitution. And simple point of fact for the military is, ask yourselves, did you swear an oath of allegiance to nation states or to the United States Constitution? And that's the firm ground that Tim Turner stated, and on which the Republic stands, but on which the nation states do not stand. And so that is the flaw in where Drake is coming from. And we do wonder, but we don't know for certain whether or not this is a deliberate psyop or a plan to get people's hopes up, that they would begin to hope in something that can't succeed, because just on a legal basis, and we're not talking about practicalities at all, about overcoming whatever other military force there might be, but the legal basis doesn't stand a chance for nation states. So that's why we think that this is not a good thing that's happening. We do hope that there are arrests, and of course that can be a very, very good thing, but we don't know the direction that things will go once those begin to take hold. We want to help people understand that things are not as simple as declaring yourself to be a part of a sovereign state without any legal foundation except for a promise to be to have the Hague declare you, and that promise is not being made by the Hague. I want to make that clear. So very interesting things are happening, and then I think we have another philosophical point to make.
Yeah, but I would actually, there are a couple of things that I would like to state about Drake and this issue. One is the teeth in the Patriot movement is the Constitution. And the de facto, the powers that be, the cabal, they want to get rid of the Constitution anyway. If you listen to Alex Jones, you've heard him talk about, there are articles in Time magazine and so on and so forth, the Constitution is dead. The Constitution is the very thing that preserves our liberties. And how convenient would it be if the cabal could come up with a technique for getting the Patriot movement to toss out the Constitution? And as Don said, we don't know for certain that this is a psyop. That just would be very convenient. And I did want to mention also there were two flags for me this last Drake video. One was it occurred to me that pronouncing and even exacerbating this division between RAP and RUSA reminded me all of a sudden of the schism between Democrats and Republicans. This is that same old duality that if they can get the Patriot movement people to fall into two camps, like Republicans and Democrats, then they have the ability to define the conversation and keep everything on track, because they'll be able to play one off the other just the way they play Republicans and Democrats off each other. Another flag was he mentioned that he had seen an ET or an alien spaceship or something shoot a plane that was spraying chemtrails. You know, that's cool. I'm not absolutely saying I don't believe in aliens.
Make
but
a good movie.
I am going to say this. We live in California, so you tend to look at the sky a lot because it's glorious. And whenever there are chemtrails, I tend to look at chemtrails. When there are planes spraying chemtrails, I look at planes spraying chemtrails. And I've never seen an ET take out a chemtrail plane. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen or couldn't happen. I'm just saying that when I heard that, it just felt to me as if somebody is tossing in another special crumb to hook us even more. And sometimes those hooks are what we can recognize from the mainstream media and from the cabal, because they think they have our number, and they've boiled us down into these psychological profiles. And I know there's science behind it. I know it's real. But thank God, we're living, breathing people with free will. We can be unpredictable, and the more unpredictable we are, the less easily they'll be able to manage and control us.
And I also want to point out that Tim Turner has graciously offered to try to reconcile the differences between Drake and Teri Hinkle and other people, and that hasn't been reciprocated. So we're obviously stating where we stand, and we do want to reiterate that this is appears to be a divide and conquer strategy, and the enemy is preying on our weaknesses and giving us things that will hook us in, like Cindy said, or that magic pill that you just want to believe in it so much and that you just buy into it because it's what you want. It's everything that you've been hoping for. So if we had given false hope last week, we want to apologize, and hopefully this is a more realistic view, but it did take 2 Drake interviews for us to really see a better picture about what's going on. And we're very much looking forward to what Benjamin Fulford's next blog is to see if there's any more clues about upcoming arrests, etc. So one of the things that I mentioned, that there was a Tim Turner conference call. I expect that to be available on the internet soon, and we will post a link to it when it is, so that people can hear the other side of the story. And the Republic has kept a low profile on the internet, but I think this is basically forcing a public debate. So we think that information needs to be out there.
Sure, and we don't mean to add to the schism by talking about the Republic, but the Republic was publicly attacked. So we do want to be honest and say that we are affiliated with the Republic. We've studied it, we've met the people, we've seen the documents, and we believe in what they're doing. And we also would like to just kind of state that as far as Benjamin Fulford is concerned, Drake invoked Benjamin Fulford. To our knowledge, Benjamin Fulford has never promoted Drake or made any kind of statement that indicates that he's affiliated with Drake or Drake's affiliated with him. And we like what David Wilcock does for the most part. We enjoy his videos and his audios and even what he writes. So there's kind of a question mark there. I can't speak for Don. I don't think David Wilcock is a party to any kind of deception. Perhaps he was deceived. I know he said he vetted Drake, but the cabal, and once again, jumping to the conclusion, which I don't fully mean to do, but the cabal has the ability to set things up long term. They can see where things are going. They could have positioned somebody to become a sincere and valid source. I shouldn't say sincere, a true source of information for David Wilcock 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago. And David Wilcock has come to depend on their information, and all of a sudden it's a convenient time, so they use this contact for their own purposes. And we really do need to be wise as serpents and innocent as doves.
Yeah, I wouldn't go quite that far, but I would say that if you have read any of the books on mind control, such scenarios are not as far out as they seem. That they wouldn't necessarily have had to have selected David Wilcock. They could have prepared somebody via mind control methods to slip into a movement that they knew they wanted to infiltrate because they knew that it would appear. And I want to clearly state that the ruling cabal has known for decades that there would be a movement against them within the United States when their plan became obvious, and now is that time. So these moles or programmed people would now be in operation, and that's what could be happening here.
And we've seen some very irrational people show up at Republic meetings and say some things that are pretty out there, make some heavy accusations, and we don't want to make a call for you. We're just asking you to use your own discernment. And we do, as Don said, I apologize as well, and hopefully this I think a lot of you made comments that you didn't believe it anyway, so but what Don was mentioning about the philosophical point of view, if you have been disappointed, there is just a thought that we wanted to share with you.
Right, and especially appropriate, this being Passover season, and in our culture we refer to it as Easter, but as Christians what we're really doing is we're celebrating Passover, and that's the time of this one. It does happen to coincide on the same day or the same weekend, not the same day but the same weekend. So we've been reflecting on the exodus of the descendants of Abraham from the land of Egypt. And the thing that hit us this week was they never knew that there was going to be 10 plagues. Every single time they thought that was it. They thought they were going to get out. They thought they were free. And you can kind of understand why they grumbled against Moses, why they were getting mad at him. The situation seem to be getting worse and not better. And that's what it's like in this window of time that we're in right now. We really do believe that we are on the threshold of something that's very world-changing. The new banking systems being set up, and the truth movement just accelerating, the desire for liberty just growing in the hearts of many, many people, the deception just not working anymore, the tyrants looking like tyrants, and the expectation is it's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. Well, we believe something is going to happen this year, and it's probably going to be before the end of the year, but we don't know how soon it is. And we just want to share our insight that you have to be in it for the long haul. You can't be thinking, well, it's just going to be next Tuesday or whenever you think it might happen. So not to set any dates, but to live in a spirit of hopeful expectation, because I believe that's God wants to give us hope, and not to, but the enemy wants to steal that hope. And one of the ways that he can steal that hope is by putting a false deadline on it, so that you'll be disappointed when it doesn't happen.
Sure. And so yeah, it's like a lot of things in life. You want it, you know it's out there, you think it's going to happen, but you have to wait for it. And there's an old Chicago song, and maybe I'll put that video up in our comments. Good things in life take a long time. So, and as Don said, the path into tyranny was long and complicated, and we do have a path back to liberty. So we hope that you will continue to seek it, and we will continue to seek it, and hopefully we'll become free men and women.
Rejoice. He is risen.